Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Stormwatch. Today is the last day of March, and I have a question for you all. Why is everyone so tired on April 1st? Because they've just finished a long 31-day march. So, on this week's episode, we get a closer look at the Machine Tool Operations Program with our own Steve Moser. And then a little further, we learn how to make a delicious spring dish to serve to friends and family with our own Abdallah Al-Quad. Also, we'll learn how to start composting right at home with Julia Dynick, and much, much more, so please stay tuned. MATC has a plethora of excellent programs, and one that really has me interested lately is the Machine Tool Operations Program. This trade is in high demand locally, and there are many job opportunities available. Let's take a closer look.
MATC's Machine Tool Operations Certificate is a 2-semester program that provides students with industry knowledge in a professional environment. Students work quickly in this program to learn what they need and to get out into the workforce. Many would ask, though, is 1 year enough time to train these students?
I believe it does adequately prepare students for the job market, and 9 times out of 10 it actually prepares them before they get through a 2-year part of the program. This program teaches the students to come from a basic of no knowledge of the industry whatsoever into the manufacturing and the machining part using hand tools, which are precision hand tools.
I was in the field about 10 years ago, similar setup operations, but since I've been in this class, I've learned way more than I learned in that year and a half.
I think it's preparing me pretty well. First, you start on the manual machines here in CNC, and you get real familiar with that. Then you move on up to these bigger machines over here.
We have a more hands-on approach with this. We actually get to interact with the tools and learn programs, as well as learn how to read the programs and utilize the programs, as well as execute commands, understanding what the machine is going to do before it do what it's going to do. We understand what the machine's doing.
The job market is just grabbing the students even before we can complete with them.
With an education like this, MATC's Job Shop is a great place to find local employers. Are there any other avenues MATC students can travel to meet with local businesses?
They got so many job fairs and all this other stuff, so we constantly meeting people that's in the field and allowed to introduce ourselves, and they're telling us what their company have to offer. We're telling them what we're learning and what we're going to be able to offer. And a lot of them are impressed with the fact that we are even learning so much so fast.
Well, I've been looking at jobs online, and I've seen quite a few for CNC operators and for CNC programmers.
When students are searching for jobs, what is a typical hourly wage for machinists?
Entry level is probably 11 to 13 over the probably course of their first year. I've had people start at 13 and within 6 months jump to $19 an hour or 20, depending on what we've had.
Well, if you like a very hands-on program and a nice paycheck, then that's a program you may want to look into. So, another question. When do people start using their trampolines? You're probably right. Springtime. Yep. Tough crowd. Just like anybody else, I do love a good joke, and I appreciate a great poem, so I had our very own Tim Straszewski create one. It's about a dark, hard struggle, but it does end positively.
On a cold, dark night, from a city of ashes, an eagle was born. It was winter, her wings not yet spread, her beak partly torn. The newborn sought care, love, refuge, and cover, and took sanctuary in a frigid, abandoned warehouse after neglected by its mother. The abandoned warehouse was cold, dark, and dank. filled with ghosts of an industrial past and shards of wooden planks. The eagle was forced to raise itself in the wild, ferocious, concrete jungle. Still she breathed, and breathed the wind of the city. These graceful zephyrs nourished her spirit, though she succumbed to the realities of her limits. She tried flying, not lifting a claw off the ground. Ominous light in the distance drew her forward. Though her wings were small, her heart was grand. It filled her with courage to tackle the land. Countless nights were spent squandering the streets of the city, amidst the passerbys and mechanical beings so gritty. Food was plentiful, though scarce, in the wild jungle. The atmosphere grew warmer, though the wind would still rumble. The ominous light would appear every day, coming into view in the night by the bay. Glistening, singing to her, she flapped and she flapped, though the weight of the world had her trapped. She kept trying and trying to flap her wings amidst the labyrinth of mechanical beings. And finally, after relentlessly trying, her wings spread apart and she began flying. She flew towards the light in the cold, dark air. Oh, how alluring it was.
I'm thankful that the bird made it to the light and spread its wings into the sky. That reminds me, I wonder, when exactly do monkeys fall from the sky? During April showers. Woo! Man, I am on a roll today. Now how about we lighten the mood a bit with a piece from Matt Kenner. I think I may need someone to feel my forehead. I may have a fever.
Hey, Tyler, how's it going, man? Whoa! Big Wade! We didn't see you there. Sorry, bro. Oh, Big Wade!
What's going on?
I'm going alright. I'm just tired.
This winter sucks, dude. I'm stuck inside all day or at school just playing Candy Crush or Angry Birds on my phone.
I know, bro. All I do is sit all day here and play pocket pool. Wish I could just sit outside and eat peanut butter sandwiches with my seagull buddies, bro.
With your seagulls, dude. What?
No, dude. No. Did I say seagulls?
I miss going to the park to birdwatch.
What?
Birdwatch? And helping my grandma catch squirrels for meat.
What?
So now I have to just settle for catching rats and then microwaving them.
Oh, God.
Bruh, you know, I can't even edit, bro. I'm just stuck here. It drains my life. It's draining my soul, bruh.
Dude, tell me about it. It's such a bummer. I can't play beach volleyball. I can't go skinny dipping with my sister. Skateboarding. You know, I'm sick of playing Moncala with my grandma at home. It sucks.
No, bro. I wish it was spring break already.
Yeah, seriously.
Did someone say spring? You guys look like you could use some spring in your life.
It's the guy from the Broke Man's Guide to Good Basketball.
Did you say spring?
What do you mean by spring, bro?
Yeah, man, it's my new beverage, Spring Fever. With Spring Fever, it's guaranteed to end those winter blues and put a little spring back in your life. Man, with one sip of this, every day is spring break, baby. Man, Spring Fever, this stuff is full of jam-packed with all types of ingredients that'll get you going. Man, it's full of antioxidants, it's full of ginseng, it's full of high fructose corn syrup, and a crap load of GMOs and ingredients you can't even pronounce. So go ahead, man. Have a sip.
If I drink this, will I be able to dunk a basketball?
Hey, man, that's the consequences. It's just the nature of the beast.
Is that the juice of tenderized pork chops?
It's intense, ain't it? Yeah, man.
Delicious! Dude, try this.
What? Okay.
Oh my God, this is awesome. Here, try this. I'm gonna go bird watching.
Woo! Spring fever, baby! Yeah! I'm out of here!
Spring fever. Winter's over. It's time to catch the fever.
Thankfully, I'm not sick. Thank God. I just have the winter blues like those guys did. But I think after I go and get a bottle of that refreshing drink, Spring Fever, I'll be good and ready for that spring break that's coming up. Say, what kind of tree can you fit in your hand? A palm tree! Oh man, and those are the exact kinds of trees I'll be sitting next to during spring break. The best thing about going away on vacation would have to be the weather, especially in Milwaukee. But even better, the different foods. I certainly enjoy that. Here's something I wouldn't mind eating while laying on the beach.
Today on What's on the Menu, we are going to show you how to make a spring favorite, pasta primavera. Things you're going to need are pasta, farfalla, 2 zucchinis, a red pepper, a yellow pepper, 3 carrots, grape tomatoes, Parmesan cheese, virgin olive oil, herbs of Provence, black pepper, and sea salt. First thing, cut the zucchinis on both ends and start chopping. And cut in half. We're going to do the same thing with the carrots. But unlike the zucchinis, you're going to have to shave the skin and then chop them up. With the red pepper, cut them on both ends. Then cut in half and remove all those lovely insides. After that, cut them in strips and repeat this process with the yellow pepper. With the grape tomatoes, cut them in half, and then we're going to save them for later. Once everything is done, place all the cut up veggies on a large cookie sheet. Pour the olive oil on the vegetables, black pepper, then the herbs, and finally the sea salt. Set the oven to 385 degrees. Place the vegetables in the oven and set to bake. While your veggies are roasting, pour the farfalla pasta in the pot. Add water. Set the stove to low 4. Then place the lid. In 20 minutes, your roasted vegetables and pasta should be ready. After you pour out the water, add the vegetables and the pasta. Then start mixing them up. Then add the Parmesan cheese. Add the grape tomatoes from earlier and mix it up. Add more Parmesan if needed. And that's how you make pasta primavera.
All those leftovers from those vegetables would be great to add to a compost bin. So here with me today is Melissa Tashin, the founder of Compost Kids, and she's going to give us the 411 on what composting is. Melissa, thank you very much for being here today.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Tanner.
This is obviously composting is a great cause, and our viewers at home are interested, and quite frankly, I'm interested too. So what exactly is composting? If you would shed some light on that for us.
Yeah, composting is basically nature's way of returning nutrients back to the soil. And so what we do is we reclaim this organic material from the landfill and utilize it to help community gardens, maintain quality soil. And so it's basically taking food scraps is what we primarily utilize because that's something that's very abundant here in the city. And then we take like what we call a brown material, which is usually leaves, wood chips, even shredded paper, and we kind of mix them together.
Nice.
I know.
Great.
So simple, right?
Yeah, so simple. Great way to recycle and whatnot. Now, personally, how long have you been composting?
I've only been composting about 7 years.
Okay.
I moved from Chicago to Milwaukee. And wanted to do more gardening, wanted more outdoor connection than what you get in downtown Chicago. And started a garden and a little compost pile with my downstairs neighbor, and it kind of just went from there.
Nice. And Compost Kids, how long has Compost Kids been running?
About 5 years.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the program has to offer and why it's beneficial to our community?
Yeah, well, right now Compost Kids is really the only option for people like you and I that live in Milwaukee that want to be able to recycle their organic material. Compost Kids is the only option for that.
Okay.
So we set up community compost sites throughout community gardens, anywhere from, like, we have some off of Our and Dousman on the east side, or River West area. We have Bayview area, you know, north side off of 27th Street and north. So we're all throughout the area, usually attached to a garden.
How's the reaction to Compost Kids? Are you getting a nice feedback from the community and whatnot? Or?
Yeah, huge. I mean, when we first started this, we were just a group of people that were looking for a place to compost because we didn't have a yard. You know, we were apartment dwellers, and where do we take this material? And so it was just a group of us that started getting together, and then businesses actually started being interested in how they can properly divert, and it just kind of went from there. And so it's been 5 years of, you know, businesses and residents and gardens, you know, all taking part in this, you know, in addressing this need. Because it really is. It's, you know, our landfills are about 75% capacity. About 25% of that material is organic.
Wow.
It could go somewhere else.
Might as well. We have the opportunity, we might as well use it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, how long exactly does this process of composting take?
Yeah, I mean, what you put into it is kind of what you get out of it, and that's what I tell people. If you want a finished product, right now we at Compost Kids, at one of our larger demonstration sites, we take in about 2,000 pounds of material a week, and we flip these bins 4 foot by 4 foot area about once a week until it goes through a 3-bin system. And at the end of that flipping it, so about, you know, a month, we get 1 yard of material, 1 yard of finished compost, and then you gotta leave it alone for a little while, about another month, and then you're good to go. It's good to be used.
That's great. Now, I was told about a big day. I believe it's May 10th.
Huge.
Can you tell us a little bit about Dirt Day?
Yeah. So the whole point of Compost Kids, not only just diverting organic material, but to give back finished compost to these gardens. So on May 10th, we are going to be choosing a garden where we're going to be donating about 15 yards of compost to them. And we're going to build a community compost site there. We're going to have all of you know, different kids' activities, painting, things like that. But gardens can still actually apply until April 7th.
Okay.
And that's all on our website and application. And April 7th we'll decide you know, which garden will get it, and that's where we're all going to go and hang out on May 10th.
Awesome. That's great. Now, what kind of struggles does a business like Compost Kids run into in an area like Milwaukee?
You know, that's Milwaukee is not uncommon from other cities that are starting a food scraps diversion program.
Absolutely.
Right now, food scraps are considered hazardous material. These ordinances are extremely outdated, so, you know, there's no compost police or anything like that. And there's a way where you can compost properly that's quite easily, where there's no odors or no pet problems or anything like that. And so right now we've been working with the city on changing some of that verbiage so that composting food scraps can be more acceptable on a larger level, so that we can create the infrastructure it really needs to divert the amount of material that needs to be diverted.
Excellent. Now, where can people find out more about composting and Compost Kids if they want to learn a little bit more about that?
We have a pretty awesome Facebook page where we will go and post different links on a national level of other organizations that are doing what we would like to accomplish here in Milwaukee and what we're doing locally as well as our website. We actually just redid our website, so it's still kind of ironing out some of the kinks, but it's compostkids.org. And then we have a Twitter as well, where we tweet stuff. Yeah, so that's fun.
Great. I'll be sure to check into that. Might as well. I don't have many followers on Twitter, but, you know,
cool.
the little bit helps.
We'll
the little
share.
bit helps. Perfect. We'll share followers. Excellent. Now, of course, composting has many uses. It's a good soil conditioner, natural fertilizer, natural pesticide, even for soil. And even in ecosystems, it's good erosion control, land and stream reclamation, wetland construction, and of course, all around recycling of pretty much disposable waste. So
totally.
Now, personally, I support composting, and I believe all of you at home should do the same. So be sure to like Compost Kids on Facebook and follow them on Twitter.
Do it.
And if you're interested in learning a little bit more on how to start composting at home, this next video should be of help.
It may not feel like it, but from now until the 3rd week of June, it's springtime in Milwaukee. But to the founder of Compost Kids, Melissa, it's the sweet smell of fresh, steaming compost that lets her know spring is here and her busy season is about to begin. Right now, we're at the corner of Ward and Greeley in Bayview at one of the many Compost Kids sites. But wait, back up. We started today off by meeting with Melissa at a Compost Kids local business contributor. Compost Kids is a volunteer-run, nonprofit organization with a vision of a world in which every person disposes of food residuals and compostable materials in an environmentally suitable way. You yourself can do this at your own home, and local businesses can do it as well. Which brings us back to Melissa. She's here to pick up all of the saved compost bins. The bins are then taken from all of Compost Kids' partnered locations to one of many Compost Kids' actual compost sites. Today, Melissa is taking the compost to the Compost Kids compost site on Ward and Greeley in Bayview. Wait, hold on. Before you go driving to the site, you will want to have all of your compost ready to go. All you need to get started is a bin. Well, and a healthy diet. Place your bin in your kitchen and make sure you have a lid that snaps shut. What you can put into your bin. When cooking, snacking, or cleaning out the fridge, the following things can go into the bin. Fruit and veggie scraps, baked goods including bread, rice, grains and pasta, paper towels, paper plates and napkins, tea leaves and bags, coffee grounds and filters, eggshells, and any non-glossy shredded paper, like newspaper and cardboard. What most definitely not to put into your bin? Leave out anything that can grow bad and smelly bacteria, such as all meats and all meat scraps, and that's including chicken, fish, and shellfish. Leave stuff out like bones, fat, grease, and oils, and all dairy products. Yeah, Wisconsin, that's including cheese. Once your bin is filled, or begins to smell, you can take your bin to a Compost Kids site nearest you. Log on to www.kompostkids.org and click on Compost Sites in the top right corner. Type in your address and hit Find Location. Once at the site, follow the directions. Make sure you weigh your compost and log it. Then empty your bucket into the correct area. After dumping, fill up 2 buckets of brown source and dump that on top of your latest contribution. And congratulations, you just helped save the earth. Be sure to check out compostkids.org. That's compost with a K. This is a super easy way to help save Mother Earth. So come on and pitch in.
Again, be sure to check out that website. It seems like a great way to benefit not only our community, but again, Mother Earth. Every little bit helps. So it is March 31st, and before you know it, it's going to be the end of May. Have you turned in your graduation application? They're only being accepted until 4 p.m. today, so if you're watching this show, you probably missed it, but try and get them in anyways. Also, make sure to pay your final installments of any payment plans you may have set up by the 3rd of April, 7 a.m. Speaking of payments, have you filed your taxes? If you have not, Ty Bergeron gets the scoop on how to make filing your taxes easier than ever before.
As the tax deadline of April 15th is fast approaching, Stormwatch reminds you that MATC provides free assistance with tax returns at both the downtown and Oak Creek campuses.
We serve anybody who comes in. The only real main qualification is that the program is designed for low-income taxpayers. The IRS guideline asks for people with family income that would include non-taxable income of $55,000 or less. But to be honest, most of the people that we serve are well below that number.
There's an incredible group of well-qualified volunteers that donate their time during the tax season.
And I've seen actual people from our community come in and see how grateful they are to have a student along with a community volunteer as well as some of our alumni, helping them to complete their tax forms. And so they are very grateful that we have our students who are available to help them with this process. We're really proud of the work that our faculty do with our students and offering this service to our community residents.
There are some very useful money-saving tax breaks MATC volunteers always make sure to point out to low-income taxpayers.
But I would say the three main tax breaks that we focus on would be the earned income credit, the education credit, and on the Wisconsin returns, the homestead credit. All of these, to one extent or another, are refundable credits, which means people can get back more money than they actually paid in.
This free assistance with tax returns has been open to the public for 32 years, helping hundreds each year. Another great MATC in the community success.
Last year, the downtown campus e-filed over 700 returns, and the South Campus e-filed over 500 returns. So that's a lot of people that we helped. We would be happy to serve you and prepare your return and hope you take advantage of this free service.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Stormwatch. I hope you've taken some great information from this episode. I know I have. Next week, we'll have County Executive Chris Abele here to talk about recent elections, so be sure to tune in next week and check that out. Now, before you go, here's a little secret. February can't march, but April may. Yeah. Whew. Oh, man. Tough crowd, tough crowd. Whew. Maybe next time. In-studio audiences are tough to get.